Okay. So, who has, after all these practice tests that we've done, who can think of a problem that you might miss if we don't practice it again? So who can think of one that you would like to practice again? I mean, I can make up problems, but I don't know which ones you need practice on. Who is that with a hand up? Yes, Emma.
You want me to read it to you?
Yeah.
Alright, like find the exact value, no calculator, and decimal value.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. So we're going to find, let's say, the secant. Oh no, let's not do that. That's too hard because we got to do that calculator. So let's do tangent of the angle whose cosine is 1/4. Okay? So if we're doing it on our calculator, that is easy. The calculator part is simple. We just type in tangent second cosine 1/4. So the decimal value is 3.8730. That would be the decimal value. So just type it in, just like I wrote it. Now, by hand, so the what we call the exact value, that's done by hand, we need to draw a picture of the parentheses. So we're going to draw a triangle. Emma?
So it's always going to be in quadrant 1.
Yep. So we're going to draw a triangle with a cosine of 1/4.
Yes, which is.
So the adjacent would be 1 and the hypotenuse would be 4. And then we'll do our Pythagorean theorem. What do we come up with?
It should be
Root 15. Johnny, what are you saying? Remember, the Pythagorean theorem says x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Period. Every time. So 1 squared plus y squared is 4 squared.
I was just going to ask you how much transfer in the last, like, exact numbers. You just put.
I don't have the answer written down yet. The exact answer, I'm going to use that triangle. What's the tangent? The tangent. Root 15 over 1, which is root 15. Yep, that is my tangent. Okay, Emma?
Okay, yeah.
All right. Kia?
Can we do, in which quadrant is?
Yep. So we have, let's say, a tangent is negative and a sine is positive.
Do you already know what it is?
Yep. So remember, this means negative. This means positive. So write it down if you get confused by that. Less than 0 means negative, greater than 0 means positive. Now, it doesn't matter which one you start with. It does not matter. I like to start with sine and cosine because sine and cosine only involve one letter, right? Tangent involves both y and x. That makes it a little harder for me. So I'm going to do this one first. Which letter, x or y, is sine associated with?
Y.
Sine is y. So this tells me y has to be positive. So I just look at my setup here. It looks like y is positive here. So now I've narrowed my search and I'm only looking there. Now, tangent. Which letter is tangent?
Isn't it?
It's
Y
both.
over X.
It's y over x. So I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, all right, if I put the y over the x, will I get a negative answer?
No.
No, because positive over positive isn't negative. How about if I put a positive over a negative? That would give me a negative answer, so the answer is quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is the quadrant that has a positive sign but a negative tangent. And again, it all hinges on you knowing that sine is y over r, and cosine is x over r, and tangent is y over x. All right, who else can think of something we need to talk about? Kia?
Can we do cosine negative and then parentheses negative 1
Yep.
over root 2?
That means find the angle whose cosine is whatever, or tangent or sine or whatever. So let's say we are going to find the angle whose sine is negative root 3 over 2. Now next to this problem it will say 2 answers. This problem has 2 answers. Now to figure that out, first thing I have to figure out is where to draw the pictures. It's going to be a butterfly bow tie problem, but where am I going to draw my triangles? Well, it's just like that over there. This is a sine, and it's a negative number. Which letter is sine? Y. Where is y going to be negative?
Second and first quadrant. First and second.
Y negative.
Oh,
Y negative would be here and here.
Yeah.
I know it's y because it's sine. I know it's negative because there's a negative right there. Now, according to the problem, opposite is root 3 and hypotenuse is 2. That should be enough to clue me in that this angle right here is a 60, which means this one's also a 60. They're always the same. So now all I have to do is figure out what size angle would get me over here to this purple line. How big, how many degrees would I have to get all the way around to this purple line?
So
180 plus 60. Aren't I going past 180? So I have to go 60 past 180, so 180 plus 60. And then how many degrees would it take to get all the way around to the blue line? 360 minus 60, which is 300. So the 2 answers to the problem, remember there were 2 answers, 240 and 300. Okay, Kia? Is your hand up, Malcolm? Nope. Anybody else have a question about a problem?
Miss Ford.
Yep.
Something's on your iPad.
I think it just keeps popping up, something about some notification. I just keep ignoring it. It's still recording, I think. Yeah, it says something about ID verification or something. I don't understand it yet. All right, who else? Anybody else have a question? Well, we're not quitting early, so I'll stand up here and blither on about what I want to do, but if there's a problem you need help on, now's the time to ask. The next time I see you, we have a test. Emma.
Can we do one with all the 6 trig functions?
So your job is going to be to find all 6 of the trig functions, but you'll be given some stuff. So you just got to pay attention to what you've been given. So here are all 6 of them. Here's what we're finding. And you'll be given one of them. So let's suppose you're given that the tangent is, let's say 4/5. And you're also going to be given something that looks like this. Now you got to pay attention to that. What does that tell you? That's going to be part of the problem. What does that tell you? Very, very important thing. Where to draw the triangle. So this is not a compass, this is regular math. So here are my labels. Where am I drawing this triangle? In quadrant 3, between 180 and 270. Now the tangent is 4/5, which, oh, by the way, the cotangent then would be 5/4. The tangent is 4/5. That means opposite is 4 and adjacent is 5. But what? They're both negative. You don't see the negative here because when you put that over each other, they cancel, right? But you've got the picture drawn, so you can see they're both negative. What's my hypotenuse? Square root of 41. 25 plus 16. 25 plus 16. So now we can fill them in. This is opposite over hypotenuse, so negative 4 over root 41. I'll rationalize it. Bring the radical to the top, plain number in the bottom. Cosines, same exact thing. Rationalize it, and we're done. Got it, Emma? That's how it works. Remember, they're going to give you 1, which basically means they're giving you 2. Johnny?
Can you do the arc length?
Yep. So we have, it'll be in words, but essentially it will say you have a circle with a radius of 8 and a central angle of 100 degrees. And you're going to find the arc length. So the minute it says find the arc length, what's going to pop into your head? Exactly. Radius times radians. And this is where the answer's coming from. Okay? Now we know the radius is 8. But we don't know that, right? Right? So what are we going to do? We're going to change that into a radian measure. So we know pi is 180. What is 100? Cross multiply and divide. And then reduce 5 pi over 9. Do not put that down as the answer. Remember, the answer comes from this. So the 5 pi over 9 gets dropped right in here. We're going to multiply straight across. So our final answer is 40 pi over 9.
Good afternoon, Cathedral. If I could have a second, I have a very important announcement. As you all know, it's going to be extremely cold out tomorrow. In fact, it's so cold out, our advancement team has their hands in their own pockets. I mean, it's so cold out, even our tuition is frozen. It's so cold out, Big Red changed his name to Big Blue. It's so cold, I have students rolling their pant legs down. It's so cold, I saw senior park snowflakes. I'm not kidding around here. Because of the impending frigid temperatures, some of our student drivers asked if I knew how to make antifreeze. I said, of course I do. I just take a blanket away. I'll leave that. In all seriousness, we do have an e-learning day tomorrow. Check school G.
All the freshmen are about to be like, oh my God.
No, Big
No,
Red.
they have more homework than you think.
Big Red's about to be in this fight so high.
Sit down. Every minute you see standing up, we wait a minute.
Is your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
big day tomorrow. Tanner, you need to not be on your iPad during class, sweetie. I know you're very, very smart, and I know you do really well in this class, but if I need to move you to a class where you pay attention, that's what I'll do. Well, then don't be on your iPad. Okay, that's disrespectful, and it's distracting to the other students. Right? Okay, it's a freezing cold day, and you got pants on that are full holes.
Do you not see these black leggings? These are leggings. I'm not stupid. I put something to make sure my skin was covered up. Because I promise you, this what they barely when they can move. Barely.
You're here? My gosh, Tom, let me ask you this question. Is that hole as tight as it looks like it's full? It's not? Why is it? Is it like greased down or something? I mean, it looks like it's like just so like it would make your head ache.
They let me coy.
Huh? Hi. You alright? You don't feel good? Well, tomorrow you get the rest. It's been a little weak. Well, that's not good. Maybe you better report to your mother.
I do.
She's been a little weak.
I do. She's on a time for work.
She what?
She's on a time for
So
work.
who's taking care of you? Oh my gosh, child, I don't know what to say to you. Alright, Miss Count, what's going on?
Since there's an E-Day tomorrow, we were wondering if you think we should collect on Friday.
Honey, we are fine with collecting on Friday, but it was you guys that didn't want to collect on Friday.
I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'll send an email to the teachers. You gonna send an email to the student
Yes,
body?
we will.
Okay, here's what I wonder though, Sarah. I wonder if we should wait and send the email on Thursday. Because here's what I'm afraid is gonna happen.
Like not send it tonight.
Not send it tonight because, I mean,
Yeah, that's
they
smart.
procrastinate. So I'm afraid